Okay, now that I've actually got Faps working with this, yeah, apparently it was trying to force the game into 30 FPS, which is not what it's supposed to be. So yeah, that's why I couldn't use Faps. Anyway, now that I can use Faps, let's go ahead and completely and ridiculously fail this, because that's exactly how things go. I kind of want to redo my Stage 5 practice stuff because I have actually learned a couple of things with that, but not enough, I think, to make a significant difference. So I'm going to go ahead with probably the worst stage for stage practice. Maybe Stage 2 is a little bit worse, but I think this is definitely a very, very strong candidate for a worst stage practice stage. And, yeah, my idea is not to get hit during this. I don't want to bomb this right now because there's no point. Like, if I have to bomb during the game itself, then I will of course bomb during the game itself, but I have more than enough ability, usually, providing the yin-yangs behave properly, to get this bit done without bombing. So that is my stance on this. That was very nearly dangerous, but it's okay because it kind of wasn't. And I did indeed get the bomb there too, that was pretty good. See what I mean? I've got enough ability to get this done, it's not that catastrophic. And then Reimu A has a very good time with this section compared to some of the other shot types. Obviously nothing compared to Sane B, because Sane B just destroys absolutely everything here, whereas Reimu A cannot. However, Reimu A does a good enough job. Now, the reason I go for multi here is simply because I'm in practice mode and I want to get power, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get it at this rate. But I do, and that's actually good because now I can get the green one straight away as opposed to having any sort of delay on that, so that's good. I can afford to miss one shard during the thing, but I didn't miss a shard this time, so that's good. And then Return of the Revenge of Nue, she's obviously a reasonable bit harder this time than she was before, but the general principle does seem to stay the same. If you can stream that bit, it's a lot easier, but apparently I can't stream that today, so whatever. The last time I played this stage on stream, I was doing really well against Nue, but never mind. Be prepared to bomb that third section, that's basically it. But if you can stream it to the left, it's okay. And then Byakuren herself, I find it very hard not to die during this stage a lot. Like, I don't want to bomb a lot of the stuff because technically I can do it, but yeah, I find it very hard not to just flat out die during a lot of this. Except during this card, because I pretty much auto-bomb this card anyway. It's so ridiculously luck-based, it's unreal. So there's no point in trying to capture that card. There's no point in trying to capture this either, so you're not going to see it during the main game either. The lasers sometimes aim in front of you, so really it's an unfair non-spell that I just don't even care to try. For this, Magic Butterfly is static, so if you can learn it then it's a lot easier. There's several different ways you can go about trying to do it, but this is the way I have chosen, and when I am at max power it works. If I'm not at max power I've got to try and adjust things slightly, so yeah. This fight right here is the whole reason why I want this shot type, and I'm gutted that I failed that actually. Because usually I don't. Anyway, Magic Milky Way, very, very, very hard card, but a bit more doable I find if you alternate left and right, because you misdirect the stars, and I find that does make this a fair bit more possible. There we go. Still extremely difficult, but if you do it that way, it does at least become doable. As for this non-spell, well, I'm actually sometimes okay at this. Like, I know how I want to go about doing it, and it's something like this. Get down as quick as possible, dash across, try and get some damage on, then misdirect it again so that you can get across and restart the process before you get yourself walled. Usually works out quite good. Yeah, I'm fairly okay at this non-spell. It's difficult, sure, but I'm usually alright with it. I do have to cycle around 3 times though, so it's stressful, but not impossible. And there we go, this should be it. Easy. Devil's Recitation, on the other hand, well, I've captured it about 3 or 4 times, and that's it. This card is nuts, and I really don't quite understand how you're supposed to misdirect or dodge the purple stuff. It just doesn't quite make sense to me. Sometimes it works out really nice, kind of like just now. Usually, right now, it's actually being very, very tame at the moment compared to what it usually is, but I'm still going to have to bomb. If I can get away with just 1 bomb during that, I will be very happy, because quite often I die to that, so yeah. For Superhuman, you want to stay on the left-hand side, but well, this time it just didn't work. But usually the opening part of this is the hardest part. Once you've gotten beyond the opening, this card tends to be fairly doable. And by fairly doable, I mean it's sort of micro-dodging stuff and just anticipating where bolts are going to go. And it's actually okay. But I'm still anticipating a bomb on that one, even though it should be a capture pretty much every time. And then you get to this. This is the reason why I can't use Reimu B during this game. But how the hell are you supposed to do this? This card is just impossible. It really, really is. And I don't understand it. I'm trying a slightly different idea. Usually I'm on the other side for this, but trying... Blair! That was fail on my end. But yeah, I tried to stick to a side when the waves are rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. I find that works a little bit better, but I don't understand how this is supposed to work. It just gets impossible. It really does. I didn't think I was up that high on the screen. There's another problem, is I keep moving too far all the time, and it just... yeah, really doesn't help. But how are you supposed to do it when it gets to the red only wave? It just... that... up until that point there, that was just luck. I would of course bomb this a lot more, but bombing... I definitely didn't get hit by that, but whatever. Bombing does nothing against this attack anyway, so it... yeah, and that was on purpose. What on earth are you supposed to do against that? Clearly that was a bad example, even for me. Because I have done that. Whoa! Freaking... wow, really? 5 FPS there? Lag spike, ahoy! But yeah, even for me that was bad, but still, how do you do that? How do you honestly do that last wave? Because I have never seen any pattern to it whatsoever that I can... well, obviously there's a pattern, don't get me wrong in that one, but I have never seen any sort of dodgeable motif in that attack. It just... well, that was almost dangerous. And that really was dangerous, but somehow it still worked. Yeah, I have enough ability to do this bit, it's just whether or not it's gonna play nice, you know? So come on, I ain't got all day to get this. I need to get this going, get it exploded so that I can, yeah, get the stuff going, get the red so that, yeah, that happens, this happens, everything happens, happening is happening, and yes. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but still. Space Invader section's not too hard, to be honest, so long as you're paying attention, especially with this shot type. This shot type makes it easy. It really does, because of the front focus behavior, you just end up killing everything that's directly in front of your path, and therefore you do not have a care in the world. So yeah, this is this stage, pretty much. This is how it goes. Can I capture this time? Because as I said before, no I can't. I was doing so much better at this before. Because yeah, the last wave is not as hard so long as you're moving to the right. It's the same as stage 4, really, but it's a lot faster and potentially a lot more unfair during that third wave. So basically just bomb that third wave, I think is what I'm trying to say here. Man, now I'm not going to have enough power to do Magic Butterfly the same way I normally would. That's kind of disappointing. Do not ask why I constantly unfocus and focus during that one. It's just the way I've always done it. It makes it easier for me if I'm dodging unfocus but restabilizing myself focused, if that makes any sense whatsoever. That was going very well until it didn't. Yeah, I don't have enough power for this anymore. This is going to be depressing. Yeah, see, this is why. Sometimes those things just go out in front and it is incredibly dangerous. So this is why you will never see me do that normally, because it's impossible. It's just flat out impossible to do that. So now I've got to try and do some other sneako strategy with this and go across. So really what I want to do is go back here and then just repeat the process, because it is static and those are the major waves, but yeah, there was one more wave than I expected, so that kind of went to hell. And now this whole fight is pretty much going to go to hell because I don't have the power. So really, I'm just going to restart, because honest to God, there is nothing there that was going to be good. As I said before though, I would never try and do that non-spells, so that was literally just to show you why I am never going to try and do that non-spell, because seriously, it is the absolute worst thing. Beyond that, this stage is kind of this stage. That UFO was kind of a dick. Just gonna put that out there now. It's always annoying when you miss that. It's gonna be heartbreaking if I do that in the actual LP, like the actual 1cc run eventually, because I will do this. This game is not going to maintain its betterment on me. I will get this. And Reimu gets no UFOs, so yeah, Reimu is terrible with her collect box, as I think I've said several times before, but yeah, that's like one of the biggest issues with this game. This game relies on you collecting stuff, and Reimu is terrible at collecting stuff. So yeah, that happens. That also happens because things take so friggin' long. Now, and here ends up being the problem. How did I manage to get away with that for so long? But yeah, the problem in the end is that these yin-yangs, if you've noticed, they're circling around in a relatively wide orbit. And because you only start with 2 power, it's very, very difficult if you can't stay directly under them to kill them off. Which means there's a fair degree of luck in this when you have such low power. If I had 4 power, this would not... Did I really get a blue one? How did I get a blue one? Yeah, this would not be nearly as big an issue if I had 4 power. Pfft, really? I got hit by that? Pretty sure I was like half a pixel to the right of that, but whatever, man. Yeah, if I had 4 power, because of how much extra yin-yangage, if you will, that's totally not even a word, but considering how many more options are in the center, I would have about double the firepower that I have right now, so these guys wouldn't stand a chance. So really, it's simply because I only start with 2 power during this thing. And that's it, and it's really terrible that that has to be such a big deal, but it really is. Let's get that last time here, get that there, and the process may begin. Good times, good times. So yeah, this section's not really anything special. I don't know what my UFO state's going to be like coming into this stage, so I may not be getting a multi in this section. It depends on my power and everything as well. That was almost dangerous, but it worked, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, that could have ended a lot worse than it did. Just get that. I always collect the UFO token, even though it's useless, because it'll bug the hell out of me if it's still on the field with its changing color sound. So, yeah, better just to grab it, to be honest. Right, so try and get across during that section, and then go the other way during the last one, And you see, it's not really that hard. It really isn't that difficult so long as you follow that pattern. And there you go, that's how you perfect the stage, I guess, in practice mode. But do expect to bomb the third wave, because it is definitely possible. Quite often you'll end up getting walled because she fires another thing that perfectly overlaps the one gap that you're going in. So yeah, I wouldn't say just bomb it, because if you can do it, it's much better not to bomb, but don't expect to do it, I guess, in a consistent run sort of thing. I am surprised that worked. Jesus friggin' hell, yeah, I saw the purple, like, needle bullet thing there, so I was fully ready to die. Not even gonna bother with this. Right, so, now that I'm at 4 power, this should work, in theory. The key note is in theory, because the theory is always the way that this has to go, but the key point is to delay that one as much as possible, and then to move up during that bit. Those are the two key points to note with this shot type. You've got to move up during that last dodge there, and you've really got to delay the movement across for the previous dodge as long as you can. Just because that way the laser won't spawn in your face and ruin your day. Because that quite often happens. Kinda surprised that worked, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't expecting to be able to slip through them, and therefore I duly got laser in the face because I was, yeah, kind of overconfident. Probably should have just bombed it, and you know, I can agree with that. So yeah, this non-spell again, it takes forever, and that's the annoying part about it, but in difficulty terms it's not too bad so long as you move correctly. If you move consistently, this non-spell is really not all that special, but you do have to move in a very consistent pattern, so yeah, I think my training against Murasa's last, the survival card, actually does come in handy for this, because I find myself aggressively forcing my way through these rings quite a lot, and I think, but I also think that really helps, because that ends up getting me through this card, non-spell a lot safer, I guess. It's a lot safer for me to do it that way. And yeah, that's my general philosophy on that one. I used to be fairly good at this attack though. I mean, I was fairly good at it on hard. But on Lunatic, it's just, I don't know. Something has happened with this one and the transition, and I really don't get what. I am amazed I didn't get hit by the laser there, and therefore I get a surprise bullet in the face. That is the biggest problem, I think, with this one, is that those, with the colour of them, they camouflage so well with the laser that it just becomes very, very, very dangerous to try and do that one. So yeah, let's see, yeah, this has started off nicer now. And I still fail because I'm still an idiot. Yeah, I don't know. This should be an auto capture almost every time. It depends how it treats you in the transition between some waves, but this really should be an auto capture. I'm surprised that worked. I wasn't expecting it to be quite that close, but yeah, I'm going to be surprised of a lot of things working here. But this is the ideal position, I think, to sit most of the time, is in this little bit, because although you might not get quite so much damage done to Byakuren, you get more than enough because of how frequently she's moving across, and so long as you're not an idiot like that, this does go pretty well. So yeah, that's my philosophy on how to capture that, even if I can't capture it. I don't have a philosophy on how to capture this though. I really don't see it. If there's some relatively safe area during this one, then I would love to know it, because I cannot see it to save my life. I did not move that high up the screen. I'm sorry to say, Mr. Game, but you are a liar and a fraud. I did not move that far up. Yeah, I'm more comfortable dodging on the left-hand side, so I should really just stick to dodging on the left-hand side, you know? Why try and change the habit which is sort of working some of the time to one that's not going to work at all, you know? So yeah, this is my current idea, and it works until the red phase, and then all hell breaks loose, and faith is the only answer. Yeah, this is what happens when you bomb it. It does nothing. The bombs, they do nothing. And that's what happens when you don't bomb. I don't understand this. Like, I seriously do not understand how this is supposed to work. So if somebody could tell me, then I would be really, really happy with that. So, that is stage 6. Terrible there, I know, but I probably will just not auto-bomb, but if I feel remotely threatened, then I'm probably going to bomb a lot more, especially during Devil's Recitation, especially during Magic Milky Way, and probably especially during Superhuman as well, because I know I can capture that. But it just hasn't been working right now. There's another one. Bombs don't work very well against that card either, so nuts to that. But yeah, that's my take on stage 6. I can do a fair bit from Byakuran, but it isn't consistent, so bombing is more than likely. My idea is that I must get to that with a lot more resources so that I can just bomb like the first 5 attacks outside of Magic Butterfly and just go from there. But as you've seen, there's potential. I can potentially do every non-spell except the second one. I have actually done the second one on occasion as well, but I don't even try anymore because the bomb is just an auto-clear on it. I can now do Magic Butterfly. Magic Milky Way is possible. Devil's Recitation, not really. And Superhuman should be possible, even though I didn't do it today, because I have done it several times in the past, a lot of times in the past, and it's not that hard after you get past the first wave. So yeah, the fight has potential, but I still need to get there with a lot of resources because death is very, very, very easy to occur on that, and I am very likely to not do well against it. So yeah. I don't know whether I'm going to do any more of these. I want to redo the stage 5 practice, but I don't know if I'm going to because it's stage 5. But I really would like to redo it, so maybe I will redo that. And other than that, I think this might just about be it. Because I don't want to bore people with the practice as well, so yeah. It's either going to be another practice of stage 5 that comes next, or if I somehow get it, the whole LP, we'll see. Anyway, see you guys for whatever comes next in this game here.